Fraud at TPUSA? Say it isn't so. Say it ain't so. Why are you involved, Trump? Why are you involved?
Are you ready for it?
Yes, hi guys. So today video, we are going to talk about, yes, you heard me right, fraud allegedly at TPUSA. Yes. So there's this guy named Zack Degregorio. He's an accountant, okay? He's been exposing fraud at TPUSA allegedly. And they got so scared over there that they sent him a cease and desist letter. Why send a cease and desist letter to someone if you have nothing to hide? Well, it turned out sending that letter was a huge mistake. And he's about to explain to you guys why. And Trump is also involved. He's covering up for TPUSA, allegedly. Guy, this is a must-watch video. And I promise you, you cannot watch this and not believe everything this guy is saying. Impossible. He explained in details the alleged fraud going on at TPUSA. And obviously, he knows his craft. Yes, he does. And yes, he is the accountant. Have you seen that movie with Ben Affleck and John Bernthal, The Accountant? It is a good movie. I love it. I love John Bernthal, and he's good in that movie, and so was Ben Affleck. Perfect duo in that movie. You should check it out. It's called The Accountant. And this accountant, Zack, he is about to expose everything. So yeah, I've already talked too much. Let's get right into it.
I believe what is going on at Turning Point is so much worse than anything I've talked about so far. It is so bad that it would implicate the entire leadership at Turning Point, and it has to do with ballot harvesting. I want to start by addressing some criticism. Since I started posting videos about financial irregularities at Turning Point, I have been viciously attacked. This letter has been floating around and reported on by mainstream news outlets like CBS, except the letter itself has never been shown until Paramount Tactical's podcast. In fact, I'm guessing he was not supposed to show this to his audience because it is quite shocking. It is a 2-page letter on Department of the Treasury letterhead. It says it is responding to a request from Erica Kirk. It says, 1, there is no IRS investigation currently underway on Turning Point. 2, all 4 990 forms were filed by May 15th, 2025. 3, the next year's forms will be filed by May 15th, 2026. The letter is signed by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Paramount Tactical is presenting this letter as some kind of evidence that there is no fraud at Turning Point. That is ridiculous for a number of reasons. We all know this because all of us deal with the IRS. We all know this is not normal behavior. Have any of you ever received a letter from the IRS saying, just letting you know, we're not doing an investigation on you? No, of course you have not, because the IRS does not do this. And it's not coming from the IRS. The letter is signed by the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. To me, this looks more like a political favor to Donald Trump's personal friends than a legitimate IRS communication. Second, the wording in this letter does not mean anything. Just because the IRS is not investigating does not mean there is no fraud going on. This does not mean that donors cannot sue Turning Point to get their money back. This does not mean that state attorney generals cannot file criminal charges against Turning Point executives. This letter does not disprove my concerns about their finances. And what is this? What is this? At the top of the page, someone has crossed out Mrs. Kirk and wrote in Erica. It looks like someone is proofreading Scott Bessent's letter. Who could that be? I have reviewed so many White House documents, and in my opinion, that handwriting looks like it was written by Donald Trump. If you compare it to other samples of his writing, he does a consistent method where he writes a name dash, name dash, name dash. The K is very much like this K. The E is written the same way as this W. This handwriting looks like it belongs to Donald Trump. This letter does not look like it came from the IRS. It looks like it came from the President of the United States. Do you understand what this means? This is the only document the Democrats need to impeach President Trump. This looks like the president's handwriting on official letterhead of him interfering in an IRS investigation of his personal friends. What people are now realizing from Turning Point's financial information is that they are involved in a whole lot more.
Holy matrimony. Oh my God. So, Erica Kirk, okay, it seems like she requested a letter from the IRS that specifically said TPUSA is not under investigation. But why would you order such letter? Why? What was going on? Why did she need a letter that said that? And she had to go through allegedly President Donald Trump to have that letter and to send it to CBS. Doesn't anyone find this suspicious? Doesn't anyone? And why Scott Bessent signed that letter? Huh? Any supervisor from that department could have signed it. It would have been okay. But Scott Bessent had to be the one to sign it. And then President Donald Trump to check it to make sure that everything is in accordance to what Erica probably allegedly told him to do. Yep, it does seem like it. It does seem like it. So, why is Trump involved in this? Why is he involved in this? Why does he agree to do this? Well, you will find out soon enough because this accountant is about to explain everything to you. Okay? And also, I bet Congress will not be investigated this. Dems will pretend they didn't know this was happening because, you know, they are too scared of Trump. They are too scared of Don. Anywho, guys, let's continue watching. There is more disturbing stuff coming. Let's watch this.
Let us look again at the four nonprofit companies. We have Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, Turning Point Endowment, and America's Turning Point. Three of these companies are 501c3 organizations. Turning Point Action is a 501c4. The difference is that a 501c3 is not allowed to participate in political activity. The other obvious question for most people is, how does Turning Point get involved in so much political activity? The only companies that are allowed to do political activity are up to 50% of Turning Point Action and Turning Point PAC. What happens in the real world is that a lot of 501c3s will perform what they call get out the vote efforts, or voter education. This is defined in Treasury Regulation 1.527-6b5. Get out the vote campaigns must not be specifically identified by the organization with any candidate or political party. As long as these are nonpartisan activities, they are considered not political, and that is the loophole that is allowed for a 501c3. This would include things like signing people up for new voter registration. But you cannot be pushing for Republican or Democrat. It has to be completely nonpartisan. Here's the problem. Turning Point USA is a 501c3. They are supposed to be non-political. But then we see Erica Kirk endorsing J.D. Vance for president.
We're going to ensure that President Trump has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 in the most resounding way possible.
This is at America Fest, Turning Point USA's largest event, with the CEO in a flashy pantsuit giving a speech endorsing a political candidate. This is strictly forbidden under the law for a 501c3. You cannot endorse political candidates. That is political activity. In my opinion, what Erica Kirk just did was illegal.
Erica, why are you out there doing illegal stuff, allegedly? Huh? Why are you? So, let me get this straight. TPUSA is filing their taxes under a non-political form, which specifically said you have to be non-partisan and you cannot endorse any candidate, and you cannot be spending money for political activities. Yet, Erica Kirk / TPUSA came out and endorsed J.D. Vance. Regardless of which form she's filing her taxes. So what's going on? Is it because their accountant doesn't know the meaning of these forms, or they don't care, or they are doing the stuff that will bring them more money? It's all about money. The heck with the laws? Huh? I don't know. I don't know. Because funky stuff is happening at TPUSA, allegedly. Anywho, guys, let's continue watching this.
This is effectively using their tax-exempt donations to create a campaign commercial for JD Vance. Now, for some reason, if you're still not convinced, do you remember last week when Turning Point's lawyer sent me a threatening letter? That was one of the worst mistakes that Turning Point has done. That letter is the key to this entire story. Because in that letter, they write out their official reason why Turning Point Action's budget increased from $10.7 million in FY23 to $27.2 million in FY24. This increase of $16.5 million was for, and I quote, lobbying and political activity during election years. This is what Turning Point's own lawyer is saying this $16.5 million is being used for. So why is none of this money being reported on Schedule C in the 990 form? According to Turning Point's own official statement, they are guilty. I've shown you the photos. I've shown you the law. I've shown you how it does not match what is being reported to the IRS. With everything that I have shown you about Tyler Boyer and his operations, how many of you believe that America's Turning Point is doing nothing political? The letter I received last week from Turning Point's lawyer revealed the bombshell news that America's Turning Point was missing employees on its 990 forms. A lot of employees. It was around 80 employees that were not reported. I mentioned before, in FY24, $8.6 million was transferred from Turning Point USA to America's Turning Point. So let me tell you what I think is going on. Tyler Boyer manages these political companies. The Trump election is coming up in 2024. Tyler Boyer realizes he needs more people to do ballot harvesting. So he decides, let's just steal the donations from Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. So he transfers $8.6 million into the company he manages, America's Turning Point. And then he hires a bunch of people for illegal political activity. And he tells everyone, come on, no one will ever know. Charlie Kirk doesn't even have to know. We will just say it is nonpartisan. We will call it get out the vote efforts. No one's ever going to ask questions. No one will ever look at the photographs. Don't worry about it. Except I think that Charlie Kirk found out. This fits the timeline of the Baker-Tilly audit that concluded on June 20th, 2025, that would have revealed all this information to Charlie Kirk shortly before his murder. If all of these people getting paid from America's Turning Point are not doing political activity, then what are they doing? Turning Point is hurting people. They are destroying people's lives. So if we were to apply that same standard to the case I have laid out against Turning Point, the entire leadership team would go straight to prison. Tyler Boyer, prison. The CFO, Justin Olson, prison. Andrew Colvett, prison. Blake Neff, prison. Anyone who knew about the political activity and was involved in the cover-up would go to prison. And yes, that includes Erica Kirk, whose name is on the letter with Donald Trump's alleged handwriting. Donald Trump, who talks all the time about election integrity, apparently does not care about election-related fraud when it deals with his friends. I am angry.
Trump too would go to prison. Oh my God, this stuff is so funny. Funny, people. Funny. This is where things start to look like, I don't know, Selena Quintanilla's story. You know, that's a superstar whose manager was taking gifts that were addressed to Selena's fans. She was taking money from Selena's account. And when Selena discovered the shenanigan that was going on, she confronted this woman, this manager, whose name is Yolanda Saldivar, who lied. And then she set out a meeting asking Selena to meet her at her hotel. And as you all know, when Selena showed up, she shot her to death. So it seems like Charlie ordered an audit, allegedly, and got killed right before the audit. Hmm. Maybe he was about to discover stuff. Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist person. I do believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. Not only that, I also believe that he acted all along. Okay, so but this looks seems suspicious as heck, people, as heck. So I guess all of this is going straight under the wall because Trump is involved. The Justice Department, the IRS, and Congress won't do a damn thing about these people. Nothing. Nothing will be done. And whatever it is, TPUSA will be getting away with it. Yes. Yes, people. Yes. And also, people, this is a video of 44 minutes. Yeah, Zack's video. It's 44 minutes. So I only caught 8 minutes of that video. So there is so much more that he explained. I would suggest you go and watch the whole video. There is so much more. There is so much more where people ordered hats, they received bracelets. I'm telling you, go watch Zack's whole video. All you have to do is just type Wolf Finance and this video will come out. So go watch it. Anyhow, guys, that is it. You let me know what you think of this. Do you believe everything that Zack was saying? Will TPUSA be investigated or not? You let me know in the comment section. And y'all know the drill. Y'all know the drill. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and comment. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.